like, comment, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, y'all. So I am back with another flashback. As many of you know, I am currently working on re-uploading all of my videos in order to meet the YouTube guidelines. I appreciate you guys' support and understanding. This flashback features Velvet. This is the time when she went to California to be with Yakin, which that didn't really work out. So she ended up hanging out with Venus Sublime. All right, y'all, let's get into this video.
They on some gang shit. They are. Oh, shit. Oh, I did. I wanted to see. Dang.
That was perfect.
Dang. Nobody would really. Dang. Nobody would believe the shit that we be experiencing. Like, bro. So we driving through the hood right now.
This is the fucking hood.
I told you.
Oh my god, the ambulance down that way. Lord have mercy. Like we literally just came up. I don't even know. We was talking about something so profound, just like mind blowing.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, here go these MS-13 gangs. I don't know what kind of. I never saw that in real life, girl. The only time I ever saw.
Y'all, why Velvet over there acting like she didn't live in the hood in Ohio, like that was the first time she saw a gang fight or gang members? Girl, bye. Courtney, aka Solar, already told the world that when he came there, you were living in the hood, in a very dangerous part of the hood.
Like that was when I'm watching Spanish documentaries and movies.
Oh, really?
Yes. And then he took his shirt off. I got the. Let me show you the video.
Oh, yeah, show them the video.
I got the video, y'all. Ooh.
Huh. Oh, no, maybe. Why?
Like if we show them.
You think they're gonna know where we're at?
Nah, we moving.
Yeah,
we out and about. Look at this, y'all. Let me show
They
y'all.
don't know where we're at.
Let me show y'all this guy. Let me show y'all this shit. Let me show y'all this shit. Hold on. Let me play it back.
You put the sound on.
Play it back. Look at these guys.
You don't want it.
You don't want it. This is what we roll up on in the middle of a high vibrational conversation.
Oh my gosh. You getting this? This is what our people do. You said
This is what our people do. This is what our people doing right now with each other.
Oh my god, he was an MS-13. The other dude probably from Mongols or something.
This is what our people do, though, to each other. We fighting each other for what? We need to be forgiving each other and loving each other. And if we do have discrepancies, that should be an open conversation where we get an understanding. And if an understanding can't be the foundation of our relationship, then like, I should still to agree to disagree with agreeable and disagreeable forces.
Yeah. That's so.
No, that's true though. Not accepting things just because it's a trend or just because everybody's doing it, or like for instance, I've experienced like, because I don't have a lot of knowledge about other things in life, you know, but then once I considered it and then start applying it to my life, it's like, nah, like that's not who I am.
I shook.
You see what I'm saying?
Process of elimination.
You see, and so don't feel bad for choosing what's right for you. Don't feel bad for leaving something behind, you know, changing, evolving.
Y'all know she talking about Solar, right?
Like, make sure that it's resonating with you rather than somebody trying to manipulate you or persuade you or indoctrinate you.
I shook.
You know, but it is a bit unfortunate for the world that we do live in, because we've been indoctrinated on so many levels. So now that when we come into contact with information, it's like we don't know what's right and what's we don't know what's for us and what's not for us.
Yeah.
You know, in a sense, but that's what the journey is about. The journey is about understanding what's right for you and what's not right for you and keep it moving. Now, this is the only thing that I must highlight. If I don't agree with something you do and vice versa, that doesn't mean that I have to hate you. That doesn't mean that I have to condemn you to hell or anything like that.
Right.
You do that on your own time, given. My only discrepancy is when somebody is trying to
force you, force
see what I'm saying?
You
Underhandedly.
Yeah.
You know, do something and then try to make it seem like
you're not important now.
You see,
you don't exist now because you don't affirm my thought processes.
You see?
And that's not fair.
That's not fair. But to each his own. And I allow people to be themselves, but I'm not gonna put myself or continue to put myself in a limiting space or limiting space when I am so much more. It's
expansive.
If it's not resonating with me, I'm not gonna continue to allow me to vibrate in that frequency. I'm going to either evolve to something different.
You're gonna attune. You're gonna attune with what resonates deeply with you, and that is something that, you know, that's integrity. You know what I mean? That's like inner integrity. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't have inner integrity. They just go along with, you know, the trends. They just go along with what society deems as acceptable. And so it's so important for us to not do that and to really, you know, be in our truth, in our authenticity with what resonates with us truly. Mm-hmm. If you meet with somebody and they not in alignment with what you are focused on, you know, and you continue to still be around that being and act like you like them, then you're not showing the universe or showing the world that you honor yourself. Mm-hmm. You're not showing the world that that your views are important. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And your views are important. Your voice is important. What you like is important. What you don't like is important.
Yeah.
And who cares if somebody agrees with that or not? It's your responsibility to show up for yourself. And I think that's what life is calling all of us to do right now. That's what God is calling all of us to do right now. Whether we are His children or not, we're all supposed to be authentically showing up for ourselves.
Exactly.
There's no condemnation upon what you like and what you don't like. I honestly could care less.
Right.
Like, especially if it doesn't resonate with me. I'm not here to be in your life to tell you.
I honestly feel that Velvet low-key is a narcissist.
You're not supposed to be doing that, and you're not. Nah, you do what you like to do. Do what you know is resonant with your soul. Yeah. That doesn't have anything to do with me, and so I think we should just be more in a liberating space when we come together in communion or in congregation.
So how come you couldn't do that with Venus, Velvet?
With each other, be more open.
Do y'all remember that this little friendship between Venus, Sublime, and Velvet lasted for all of, I think, 2 months max? And then when her and Solar got back together, when he came to her rescue in California, because I'm assuming that Venus got tired of her and told her she needed to do something else, they were talking about Venus, saying how Venus was jealous of Velvet and how Venus wanted to make his woman work. Child, Venus was trying to teach you how to be independent and stand on your own 2 feet. That's what Venus was trying to do.
Congregation with each other, be more open to it. It's all about liberation at the end of the day. We're all supposed to be liberating ourselves.
How you been? I've been really great. I know. That's funny.
You see?
Yeah. My bad, y'all.
We're all supposed to be liberating ourselves. Yes. I wanna be happy. I want to express myself authentically without somebody being like,
no, you can't do that.
Like, what is that? You know, you hate me now because I don't agree with what you agree with. Like, That's not fair.
That's controlling.
You see what I'm saying? That's not okay. Like, that's not okay.
Yeah. But
that's the only part I caught though. So anything else, I don't.
No, that was it. That was just it for that topic. We can come back. Yeah, we was just, we just wanted to address that part and the fact that, fighting against each other, we have to make sure that we have proper conflict resolution skills, and that only comes from us really strengthening our emotional intelligence and investing in our emotional intelligence and doing the research into how to better understand what is emotional intelligence in our lives. You know what I mean? And why is that a good investment for all levels of our lives? You know what I mean? So I feel like us as a people, we need to make sure that we are investing in our emotional intelligence so we can pick and choose our battles wisely, and we can know how to better show up and be supportive in our life, not just our lives, but everybody else's lives that we're going to affect, because we affect everyone. We affect each other, whether we are willing to acknowledge that or not. Like, us showing up right now, we are affecting y'all in a certain way. You know what I mean? You're not going to be the same as you came, even though you will, but you won't. Is what I'm saying. Because and it's the same thing vice versa. So it's so important.
We have to be open to change and growth, and that's what
rain and all this stuff.
That's what New Canoon. This is what Hukanum said, right? Hitting on growth and change. Everything must be viewed as growth and change. Like,
yeah. Do y'all know whom Kanum is? That's actually Tron. He is going by that name now because he is now a part of the Nawapians.
Yeah.
We can't continue to deal with each other from a familiar place. Like, for instance,
right? Like, we know stuff already about each other.
You see what I'm saying? Every day I wake up, and I'm glad that I have this relationship with Venus, because this is a relationship that I thought was supposed to exist with the fathers of my children. And I'm not saying like whatever. Anyway, I'm saying this.
No, clarify, because people are weird.
So I think that we have a bad idea of what a relationship is. I think that we.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, because this is what we're saying. Because there's a whole lot of talking about poly and all that type of stuff, monogamy and stuff like that, and we're having a healthy relationship with each other that has nothing to do, with all of these certain type of ideologies. It's more so about getting to know ourselves through each other, and it's not. And I feel like some people think that you have to do that through certain vessels, and I feel like you have to just really develop a bond with yourself, develop and to better your life, and then you'll be able to be around other people that are invested in the same things like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And
to add on is the fact that by us having this healthy relationship, every day I wake up, I'm not waking up with an already preconceived, okay, I'm getting to know Venus today.
Yeah.
And I'm also getting to know myself by interacting with Venus today. So let me stay open to what is going to come to me so that I can be able to grow more into my authenticity while watching her be in her authenticity, which creates a flow. It creates a flow.
Yeah.
I have been I'm not going to speak for us, but I have been in relationships where that dynamic wasn't healthy and there was no flow.
Yeah.
And so by me being the expressive energy that I am, I would get frustrated because I naturally flow. And when I'm not flowing in a relationship, whether that be platonic or romantic, I get emotionally charged. That's my thing.
Yeah.
Because
you feel constricted.
And even through
I don't know why this gal pal pair didn't last. They both try to use these big words that are not really appropriate in the sentence. They could have been the best of friends.
That is learning and growing. Mm-hmm. We got so much stage.
I know.
OMG.
I know.
We got so much sage.
Y'all hit us up for some sage bundles.
Yeah, hit us up for some sage bundles. We got sage bundles. I'm making jewelry. we are gonna be cooking more often.
We was cooking yesterday.
We were cooking yesterday, which was awesome. Everybody was, proud of us. And then every time we fed somebody, they were like, oh my God, that was so good. That was so good. But because the divine Ashuk is with us, is here.
Right.
God is. So it's like we transfer that energy everywhere we go.
Right.
And
in everything that we do.
I've had my fair share. All right, I got story time. Story time.
I want the card.
Mine?
Yeah, because I can't find mine. Where did I wear yesterday? Jeans.
Mine is in that room.
It's in the room.
In my jean pocket.
I think mine's is in my jean pocket too.
Let me see the card.
Let me double check.
I know mine for sure.
I think because remember I bought groceries last night. So
You know what they're looking for, right? They're looking for that EBT card. Now, I'm not saying that EBT is a wrong thing to do, because if I could get some, I sure enough would. But why does Velvet try to act so posh and poised and rich and shit? And you looking for your EBT card, girl?
I think that I left it in my jeans.
We gotta go all the way back.
Oh man. No, let me double check.
Quite honestly.
What?
I don't mind going all the way back. But on another note, to save time, I am okay with this.
The food that we have.
Yeah.
I'm hungry though.
I know.
And
Well, I'm not like extremely.
I want just something a little bit more substance. Like at least like a salad or something. You know what I mean? Like I don't want any chips and salsa. Ugh.
Yeah,
I don't want like a kale salad or something.
I really
Or
want
wrap.
tea.
Yeah, I want some tea too. I do want some more tea.
I know where mine at for sure.
Yeah, mine is at the. This is fuck. Okay.
Well, we just gonna finish our work here. Story time. You ready for story time?
Story time.
So we're. She is paired successfully.
222.
Right. So we're cooking, right? And you know that when you cook, especially if you're using like metals and stuff like that, you transferring energy. You can transfer energy into what you're cooking. So we're cooking, right? We out there, we cooking for the community. And this one lady, she walks up to us and she's like, she asks, for some food. And we were just already kind of busy with some of the things that we already had going on. So she was, I guess she felt like left out or something. So she had like this real disagreeable energy. And then we wound up giving her some food. And then when she ate the food, she came back, right? And mind you, when I say disagreeable energy, I mean like the energy.
Terrorist.
Yeah. And the energies that we refer to as like demonic, demons, low vibrations, negativity, right? Those kind of energies, disagreeable forces, right? So when she came back after she ate our food,
how she was?
She looked at me in my face. She said, "Why did you do that?" I was like, "Was it good? Was it good?" It was like a mode had switched. It was like a switch, right?
From death to life.
Within the being.
Yeah.
And so I say that to say this: who you are, especially when you are full of divine love, Ashuk, when you don't let life mold you and turn you into that disagreeable force, you realize that there are more beings out there in the world who need you to embody Ashuk, to be able to be transformed, to be able to be reborn.
Yes.
We only
Hold
like
the
to
frequency.
we only like to think about being reborn in like like baptized, right? We only like to think about being reborn like that. But when we congregate with our fellow reflections, our peers, like-minded beings who hold the same thought frequencies as us, we are being reborn consciously.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. If you haven't picked up your copy of Greatness is a Habit, authored by Aaron Dixon, otherwise known as True, many of you know him as True. He is an ex-Carbonation member, and he's authored this amazing read. If you are interested in self-development and growth, this book is a good one for you. It's available on Apple Books for $1, guys. I got my copy and I love this book.
I agree.
There's so many levels to it, but
It's attuning our frequencies. It's attuning our awareness. When we allow certain aspects, when we allow certain distorted views to die off, then we are in a sense becoming reborn, because we're seeing life in a different lens. We are behaving in a different manner now. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We're interacting with life itself in a different way, and that's being reborn.
Exactly.
Henna? Yes,
perspective change. The perspective change is the baptism. The perspective change is the being reborn. Mm-hmm. And the higher
paradigm, because when you change your perspective, your paradigm shifts. Your reality is no longer the same way. It doesn't have the same components that it used to have. So that means that you're going to be showing up differently now.
Somebody said I'm a lesbian.
No, lesbian? Who, you? Oh my! I told you niggas was gonna be talking about. They can't. It's
Bro,
because
I'm a mother.
I know, right?
666.
Niggas is crazy. So what does that mean? So y'all trying to call me a lesbian too?
Come on now. That's
Yo,
so
wow.
weird.
I can only a God King can be able to handle all of my frequencies.
Come on.
Like what?
I couldn't have said it no better. But you know what? We're gonna digress from that. But
the whole point is we love ourselves, and we're gonna make healthy choices for ourselves. You know what I mean? When you focus so much on what someone else is, or when you try to identify someone else, you try to just put so much effort into claiming and affirming someone as something, then that shows that you're neglecting you. You know what I mean? You're neglecting the focus on yourself. You know what I mean? That's a coping mechanism. When you automatically, paint someone out into a certain picture, then that means that, you're making yourself feel like that you got your shit. You got your life all put together. As long as you got your life put together, you know what I mean? If you feel like your life is put together, and you have nothing, nobody can't say nothing about you, then that's fine. Talk shit about people then, okay?
It's just crazy because, we all like to talk about how women should be bonding more. And
that's what I'm saying.
Women should be, together and all of these different things.
But that's what I'm saying. Because then these same people be talking about poly this and poly that. But then when we're bonding, when there's when there's no male involved, now we gotta be lesbian.
We are an indoctrinated people.
That's wild.
And this was what was being stated in the very beginning of the live. Am I correct? Or was touched on rather.
Yeah.
We are an indoctrinated people. We need to seriously unlearn the things that we were taught, because it's not healthy.
The way we're thinking is not healthy.
You see?
The way that we're processing information is not healthy. The way how we are examining and observing information and articulating them is not healthy. You know what I mean? Like,
and then you guys get the opportunity. Everyone online gets the opportunity to watch one of their fellow brethrens or sisterns go through the very things that they're going through when it comes to adversity and what they do, but all they have is stones to throw.
That's what I'm saying. Then what do? They throw their stones.
They fight, just like we showed y'all the video. Yeah. We fighting each other when there should be a level of understanding for each other
and appreciation, because of vulnerability is
Come
there.
on now.
We love y'all so much to the point where we are being vulnerable in our expression. We're being vulnerable with our lives. We don't gotta show y'all shit. We don't gotta show up and tell y'all nothing. You know what I mean?
Oh my goodness, Venus Sublime, if you don't be quiet and go sit down somewhere and take care of your 4 children and stop allowing strange people like Velvet to come into your life. I know that Nature Boy was trying to get at you back in the day, but you didn't have to try to save his wife.
But when people do show up and they share their vulnerabilities, they share their struggles, or you know what they are overcoming in their lives, the last thing that you should do is throw stones at somebody. Because if you don't like how the environment is, if you don't like how the world is, like you better not be talking about any problems in the world. You better not be saying any shit about any, you know, we need to do this and we need to do that, if your behavior is a very example of the fucking problem. Don't be trying to talk about no righteous shit if when you had the opportunity to big up your brother and sister and acknowledge them, you know, acknowledge their struggles, to send them more transformational energy to see through these situations, then shut the fuck up.
Hey, that's to the disagreeable force, but you can still get a reading. Hit Venus Sublime's inbox to get readings. If you guys want readings, hit the inbox, right? Yeah. Specify what you need. You know, we all want things, but specify what you need, and we can see if we'll be able to be of service for that.
Yeah. What they were saying?
Somebody just asked if they could still get a reading.
Oh yeah, no problem. Let me see who said that.
This was up here.
That you are discerning these different pages, though. I don't see.
I thought I seen that. Oh, there you go.
Can I? Oh, okay. I see. Can I still get a reading? Yes. I responded back to you and you didn't respond back to me. So now I'm getting back to you when I'm going in order for who's been contacting me. So I'm going to, you know, come back to you and see, you know, what is it that you want to really, what is it that you need? You know what I mean? So I'll go ahead and
They say you look beautiful.
I look beautiful? Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I feel beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love it from y'all.
So I don't want to hear none of that bullshit from nobody talking about some lesbian bullshit. That shit is fucking wild, bro. This is my little sister, bro.
Come on now.
This is my little sister. And in your mind, this distorted ass fantasy, like that's what the fuck y'all want.
Come on, let's talk about the fantasy.
We are the reality. We are not no fantasy.
Come on,
I'm not going to buy into this distorted narrative. That's not my character.
That's not my character.
Nah.
I shook.
I'm for my divine counterpart, and so is my little sister.
Let's get it.
And the divine placed her in my life, so she can be able to have a positive example. You know what I mean? Of what is this? Of what's deserving of our time, and what is deserving, you know, of our attention and awareness. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I've been through a lot of distorted realities, and I put myself through distorted relationships. You know what I mean? So the divine knows that I'm the perfect being that can really
ground me,
ground her through my demonstration. You know what I mean? Of how I handle myself, how I see myself. You know what I mean? How I speak to the children. You know what I mean? How the choices that I make and why. You know what I mean? So it's so important for us to really just understand that whatever the fuck is going on in our lives, it's our motherfucking business.
Let's get it.
And ultimately, you gotta ask, when you ask questions, ask yourself, me answering this question, what is this gonna do for you? Let's see what they say. The matriarch tribe of sisters to rise. Exactly. Y'all just like the idea. Y'all just.
I want to talk about that fantasy
That's all I'm
on
gonna
a brief note.
That's what I was about to say. They just want the fantasy. They don't want the reality of the shit. Okay, drop it.
I just feel like, then this is my own personal vibe, right?
Of course.
But it's like, I've come into contact with a lot of that, because you know people watch me and they be like, oh, you chase after, and I'm like, I don't chase after shit. I attract. Like, that's all I've ever done since I was a young kid, and I know that because of what I went through, my experiences.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like everything that I've ever come into contact with is more so in a
Yeah.
my beauty. It brings this illusion, you know. It's my
fantasy.
vibe brings this illusion, and it's like people get stuck in being in a fantasy with me,
Yeah.
rather than being in reality with me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I'm tired of that. I'm tired of being around, and and this is in both platonic and romantic relationships.
Mm-hmm.
This is not just the men I've come across. This is women I've come across. They don't you know, perceive the reality
Mm-hmm.
of me. And it's not even about me. Anybody to understand who I've ever come into contact with, but they're in an illusion.
May you express more. You were talking about this, and I like that you brought that up, and you also added the aspect of childhood, and that the reason why that these beings are attracting you, or they are attracting in these certain. Well, you're magnetic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're going to choose. You're going to gravitate. Everyone's going to gravitate towards you. All type of beings are going to gravitate towards you. But the ones that you select, you know. I like how I want you to address the part that you were talking about as far as, like, you know, the relationships
The
and
the root. Like,
yeah, the stemming root that you've recognized, why you keep attracting these type of energies that are just focused and tuned into the illusion and tuned into the fantasy of you. You know, what made you attracted to those beings?
Yeah, it's deep. And it almost feels like every time I talk about my root, it's triggering for me, only because it feels like I'm exposing beings in my life, and then they feel betrayed. But it's the truth, though.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And it's like, we all, each and every one of us have roots. And these roots are going to exuberate the wound.
Right.
So we have to be ready to
we're all connected.
Mm-hmm.
We all play a part in each other's.
Dressing the root is to stop attracting these type of situations to us.
Yeah, so we can clarify where is it stemming from.
Exactly.
Because we know that we are the common denominator in all of these cycles of undesirable relation.
Mm-hmm. You see, from as a child, you know, the way that my childhood was orchestrated, it created I was living in an illusion.
Exactly.
As a child.
Exactly.
In so many words.
Yeah.
I was in a fantasy in my mind because of this. The way that my childhood was actually going, the reality of my childhood was not the fantasy that I lived in my mind when I was in my childhood, if y'all can catch that. Like, my childhood, the way that it acted, the reality of it wasn't how I thought it was in my mind. And so, as a child, I grew up people pleasing. I grew up trying to fix other people, other things. I grew up catering to other people, neglecting myself. This is how I grew up.
Yeah.
It's for so many years. And for me, I wanted that I shook in my life so bad.
Yeah.
Subconsciously, not even nothing conscious, but subconsciously,
Right.
where I would look for I shook in places where it wasn't. or things would be attracted to me that seemed healthy, or that seemed
like that it had the components of ashuk.
Right. And then as I'm going through,
Velvet, you're still very much a people pleaser, and you are still catering to everybody else, and you need to grow up still to this day.
because of my level of discernment at the time, it wasn't as high as it is now, because I had such a distorted discernment, a level of distortion within my discernment. I wasn't able to make these decisions in a nick of time to save myself from the entanglement of my trauma, or of the trauma bond.
Right.
But see, now that I slowed myself down and I started to not people please, I started to pour into myself, I started to do all of the etceteras that would liberate me from my traumas, to stop attracting these type of situations to myself.
By having a clearer awareness of who you truly are first.
And expressing that on an all-time high. But situations only got better and better. My discernment skills only got better and better. My decision makings in the nick of time only got better and better. And so now it's like wisdom at this point. At this point, where I'm sitting now, is wisdom at this point, because now moving forward, I'll be able to discern as way quicker, way faster now, because it's wisdom applied.
Exactly.
You know? But the energies and information are stored in your biosphere now. And you can be able to pull it, like, search for it, research for it, and pull it up when necessary, you know? And I love how you express yourself and how you put it that way, because a lot of us have not really been, we haven't been able to really experience a healthy connection. We haven't really had a healthy model of healthy relationships. None of us.
None of us have. If you really look at it, and some people can say, yeah, my mom and my dad, they were together for X amount of years. We had everything that we need, but that's not the signs of a true healthy connection. We're talking about a healthy connection, you know what I mean? Not a stable. We're talking about a healthy connection rather than the illusion of one. You know what I mean? Just because you have all of these tangible things that are in a relationship, that doesn't mean that you are experiencing a healthy connection.
Come on now. Materialistic ain't never a part of, that's an illusion within itself.
Yeah, it never stands the test of reality and actuality. In actuality, we need more than tangible things. Even though the tangible things are important, we do need those things, right? But without the spiritual first, without the spiritual components within, then outside it would never be enough. You know what I mean? It would never be sustainable. Exactly. Length of years married does not equate to genuine healthy connection. Exactly. So now we are all coming to the awareness, or given the opportunity to come to an awareness of what is a healthy connection? What is a connection, period? How can we be able to have a sustainable healthy connection in our lives? You know what I mean? And now we're all being pulled back to the awareness of ourselves. That it starts within. That we have to have a healthy connection with the awareness of who we truly are, and build a greater communion with ourselves, and get to know ourselves, and what do we need, and what do we want, and who are we, before we try to interconnect with anybody else. You know what I mean? So it's just so important for us to really recognize that, and to be really self-accountable. Because a lot of people say, like, okay, I attract these people in my lives. These people just want this for me. Like, oh, these people just, these beings, they just want the illusion of me.
Y'all, I wonder if Venus realizes that she's talking about Velvet. I wonder if she knows that at this moment in time. I wonder if she realizes that she is definitely talking about Velvet, because that is some shit that Velvet has said before and continues to say.
You know what I mean? And then they stopped there. And so I love that you took it further, and you didn't say like, okay, well, you know, these, like, I keep attracting these beings that just want the illusion of me. No, I attract these beings that want the illusion of me, and I entertain them because of my trauma.
Yes, exactly.
But now I'm aware of that, and now I don't entertain them. I'm still attracting them. I'm still attracting all energy.
Yeah,
we're magnetic.
We're magnetic.
We're goddesses.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So we're gonna attract and magnetize all energies. But now we have the discernment, and we have the solid foundation of who we truly are to be able to pick and choose what is in true connection, what is in true in alignment, not the potential of what it could be, but the actuality is this component actually really there or not?
Right. That's facts.
Or are we here to play out illusion together and then be miserable together and create more trauma together?
And that's not what I'm here for. I'm not here for that. I'm not.
No, and
it's a fine line between protecting thyself and knowing thyself.
Man.
You feel me?
Because when you know thyself, you're automatically protected.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Most people can't handle being in contact or the presence of someone who is fully aware of their being and originally themselves. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that some people, like, they intentionally choose to stay away from you because you know who you truly are?
Yeah.
I feel like it's because they can't hide from themselves in front of you.
And listen,
they can't hide. It's not about them hiding from. It's not about them hiding themselves from you. They can't hide from themselves in front of you.
In front of you.
You highlight to them exactly who they are and who they're not. Mm-hmm. So they don't want to be around you because
they want to be in an illusion.
Because they want to be stuck in the illusion. Mm-hmm. And you're and there's a lot of women and men that serenade and buy into how can I say? They buy into unhealthy ego stroking.
Y'all, I don't really have much to say. I just wanted to give y'all a break as well as take one for myself from listening to this bullshit being spewed by Venus and Velvet. I'm glad their friendship is over. I'm very happy. Because the two of them in one live, oh my God, it's so overwhelming because they both sound so dumb.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, but that goes with the whole people pleasing thing.
Yeah.
They want to be accepted. They don't want to be abandoned. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we all have to stand on our own 2 feet. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by stand on our own 2 feet, I mean that fully being self-aware.
Yeah.
And I wanted to add
accepting.
But accepting
who we truly are.
Accepting who we truly are comes with patience.
Yeah.
A lot of people want instant gratification.
Yes.
Out of everything.
Yes.
Like and that's a huge pet peeve for me because people expect me to just. It don't work like that.
But there's a lot of other beings that do that for them. So what I'm saying, they get that instant gratification from somewhere else because a lot of other beings are not honoring their healthy boundaries and honoring the value of who they truly are. So they rather just go elsewhere. Even though they see all of the full package that you are, and they want all of that. So they want to dim your light in a way where you can't see all of it, so they can still get all of the value and still get all of the what they want out of you, and not have to be self-accountable. And that's out.
That's out.
If you are not willing to do for the best of you, why would you think I'm gonna stick around you for?
Right.
The fuck?
That makes sense.
It didn't really make sense, Velvet.
Stroke your unhealthy ego. I don't even do that within my own life.
Self, right?
I don't do that for myself. I'm radically honest about where my shortcomings are, where I need growth, and where my mastery is.
That's facts.
You know what I mean? And so you have to really just be really real out
With
here in the
yourself.
field. Yeah, with yourself.
Be real with yourself first. That way, when you meet other people, you'll be real with them.
Exactly.
With you, and then that'll force them to be real with you with them. And if that's not the case,
they cancel themselves out. Thank you.
I guess that's what happened to their friendship, because I could look at Velvet, listen to Velvet, and know that she was not being authentic during their friendship.
Real.
I just want to say this though.
Drop it.
I shook.
Serious.
I shook to like. For me personally, because I have so much Aquarian vibe, and what I mean by Aquarian vibe, I mean that humanitarian essence.
Yeah.
I love humanity.
Yeah.
I love human nature. I love child and anything that falls within the spectrum of humanity.
And loving us does not mean that we want to sleep with these things.
Right.
You have to do a disclaimer for the people that takes a little bit longer to process. It's fine. We love you, but just know that that's what she's meaning. Having ashuk, divine acknowledgements.
Right.
She has divine acknowledgement for all life.
Yes, that's that.
And what's wrong with that?
Ain't nothing wrong with that. You feel me? Like,
You
you see what I'm saying?
You got to, because people crazy. Like they
be trying to take it and run with it.
They be really ready to distort your message.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we don't have no problem taking the time to be articulate and then you know exactly what it is that we mean.
Right.
Shit.
Divine love. I shook. I'm so grateful for you, sis. Goddess, queen, empress, all of the above. Like, this is a beautiful, amazing experience. One of the greatest experiences I've ever had in my life. And it is.
Yeah.
Truly. Because what it's doing for me is pushing me into my own mirror.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I've always ever asked for, because with that divine love in me, I don't want anything inside of me that's disagreeable with that.
Now, Velvet, if you have love for humanity, all of humanity, why do you treat your mother the way that you do? And why do you treat your siblings the way that you do? That's not ashuk.
It liberates you. It liberates you from being a slave to your unhealthy version of you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, it's just so important for us to recognize that some people... What happened? What happened? You're funny.
I'm sorry. I'm just feeling a lot of energy right now.
Oh, no, you would...
I'm feeling a whole bunch of love. Like...
Yeah. But that's good. That's great. You know what I mean? As far as, like... It's opening you back up to your true self. You know? Should be able to feel all of these energies. A lot of people get into this type of, you know, like, oh, I'm super hard and I'm closed off because when you're like that, your heart is closed. You're closed off to all feeling. Mm-hmm. But if you're closed off to all feeling, then that means you're closed off to love. Mm-hmm. You're closed off to the bad things, but you're also closed off to the good things. So it's so important for us to just have strength into being open, period, and having discernment. And having discernment and having, you know, a aligned perspective with our true values, to where we can just use our voice and assert ourselves and say no thank you if it's not in alignment with our highest or our most aligned and attuned expression of ourselves.
Thanks.
I'm sick. All right, y'all. So we're gonna move on to the next thing that we was gonna do. I know, but this was so important.
It was.
Y'all reflect each other so divinely. Ashuk.
Let's see.
What else you guys say?
Ashuk. Love being in the same space together. Love y'all being in the same space together.
We was talking about that earlier.
Ashuk Goddess says, hey, thank you guys for the badges.
Oh yes, we appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for circulating divine abundance. You know what I mean?
You deserve it. It's human to be this.
You talking to me?
Yeah.
I caught on to
and simultaneously reading the comments.
Oh, okay, I thought so. I know. I thought that's where all the components going on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
Divine love, Ashuk. Yes, divine. Ashuk just means divine love. Someone had asked that.
Oh, okay.
Up above.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe the
Yes,
word
Ashuk
Ashuk is a word from the Nawapians. They utilize it quite a bit, and it does mean divine love, but Venus and Velvet are just using it over and over again. And when Velvet went back with Solar, she was making fun of Venus, saying, I shook, I shook, I shook. Y'all remember that?
Unconditional love. Acknowledging the divine nature in all things, in all that is, in all life. Amplifying and acknowledging life source energy. The truth of any component, the truth of any situation is Ashuk. You know, and when we have the openness and the devotion to the divine to really, you know, open ourselves up, open our eyes to see each other, you know, it makes it feel good to be here.
Mm-hmm. It makes it feel agreeable.
Yeah. It makes it feel like reciprocal.
Reciprocal. That's a perfect word.
It makes it and thrive.
Yes.
And be.
And be unique to me.
Exactly.
To I.
Yes.
Inside. Divine. You did.
I'm shook.
We did.
Yeah.
This is beautiful. It's a beautiful day today, I must say.
Yeah.
Perfect way to start it off though with our brothers fighting each other.
Yeah.
That's something that we really need to like for each other, with each other, so that we can help each other elevate. If we're truly a race of people, or not even a race of people, but a group of people who want to rise in consciousness in Ashuk, then we must realize where we're falling short within our own communication skills, our own self-delivery, or emotional delivery, or however we deliver ourselves. We need to understand who we are in these components so that we won't distort each other's reality and then become enemies.
Yeah.
That's not the point.
I want to say that so this is how discernment works. If you try to say somebody is this or somebody is that, or trying to judge a situation, we all need judgment. We need judgment. Judgment is a God principle. That's how we can be able to build or destroy in our lives. You know what I mean? That's how we create in our lives. So discernment, you know, it's important. Judgment is important. So if you watch what they say, and what they're consistently invested with their awareness in, then that will show you who they are. It's easy for us to say this person is this and this person is that. This person is demonic. Y'all don't really want to be accountable for your own fucking projections and shit. When I get to start talking this stuff, now you talking about peace out. That is a reflection of yourself. You know what I mean? So if you really want to have, you know, some tools and how to use your discernment truly and to decipher like who's really demonic, and observe what they fucking talking about.
Now, Venus, you were not being very observant when you had Velvet around you. Not at all. Not even a little bit, honey. So you can't tell nobody nothing about observing people and how they are so that you can figure out if you got a demon around you. You cannot tell anybody about that.
Observe what did they post on their page? What is their awareness always fixated on? This will give you help you with proper discernment.
Come on now.
And to be able to to see what you're judging. Because if you're judging from, for us to really recognize, like, okay, if I'm calling this person demonic,
and I haven't even discerned them.
Why am I calling them demonic? What in their behavior? What are they talking about? What do they post? What do they focus on? You can tell. If you go to somebody's page and you just review the stuff that they post and review the things that they talk about, you review their patterns and their behaviors, then that shows you more about, that holds more weight, rather than, having emotional imbalanced judgment and just saying like, okay, since as you've been growing, then that just says a lot more about you. And a lot more healing that you need to do, because we all start from somewhere. We all start from a lack of awareness to greater awareness.
That's facts.
And the amount of grace, whoever is like in the comment, I just really want to just because if you be here making any comments talking about no demon or no nothing, you will be so big obsessed. If I don't like nobody, I'm not finna be watching these.
All right, y'all. I hope you enjoyed the video as well as my commentary. Be sure to leave me a comment, smash that like button, and share. I want to say welcome to all of my new subscribers. Guys, welcome to the channel. And to my OGs, my day ones, my ride or dies, y'all already know what it is. We in the building. Women say we in the building. We're there. You understand me?